Hey y'all, it's a new day over at the Hyatt House. You guys have seen us tear out and tear out. We have filled that dumpster up many, many times. Today is an exciting day because we finally got evidence that we're gonna start putting stuff back in. That is a truckload of lumber that is coming to us. Now, I don't know where we're gonna store it, but we've got lumber. That's a lot of lumber, folks. Okay, as promised, all this lumber is going into framing. We are in the main bedroom. This is gonna be like the sitting area. You remember that wall that was taken down and added back and taken down again. So we are framing a wall with a big cased opening that's going between these two rooms to make a suite. We thought about, do we make that cased opening the same height as the doors? But they're kind of low, especially for something with that big of a span. So what we've decided to do is match the height of this cased opening to the height of the windows, because the windows in that room and in the wall behind me are the same height. So the guys are working away. They have already made their header and we're getting ready to put the jacks in that are gonna hold that header. That is a mix of new and old construction methods. And just like that, we have a wall. And now that we're properly supporting this great big beam running here, we can take out that old wall, old new wall that's going away. So the guys are gonna take that out now. So as usual in these old houses, when you solve one problem, it creates a new one. We anticipated that this one was coming, but that is the problem with the floors. So this is where the wall ended, and that is where the wall ends now. So we've got a floor change. We have an elevation change and a material change. And the right thing to do would be take some more of this wood here and feather it in, take it all the way to this wall here, and then put a threshold in here to make up the difference in the height. We also need to patch over here. This is where that cheesy little closet was. So unfortunately, we don't have any more of this old flooring. So what we're gonna have to do, much to my dismay, is cut it up out of this room. This is part of the hall now, but it's gonna become the master bathroom suite. So we're gonna take these floors up. We'll have to replace this with a tile, and hopefully it's gonna come up in good enough pieces that we can use it to patch in the other room. All right, folks, those hardwood floors are up. They came up really well. Got a stack of them over there on top of the tub. And now we're gonna build the wall. It's gonna go right here. Once again, we are putting back a wall that was there originally. We're on the ground floor, and we are getting ready to build a secondary wall to go right here. And the reason we're doing that is because up there, we have a 237-year-old beam. And while most of our beams are in really good shape, this one's got a little bit of rot, and we question the structural integrity of that because all of these floor joists are resting on it. So what we figured was the easiest way. Y'all know, I don't want to take that old beam out. It's old, it's beautiful. So we are just going to build a new 2x4 wall right up against this. And that is going to take more of the support from those floor joists upstairs. We'll bring it all the way down. We popped off that chair rail. We're going to pop off this baseboard and add it back. So this room's basically just going to be about 4 inches smaller. I'm going to go across the way and show you what it looks like under here. Okay, so we are in the kitchen, but this is that same wall that runs all the way across. This part of the beam's in pretty good shape, so we're not too concerned about this one. But the reason we can build that wall over there and we don't have to do any support underneath is because there's already this giant girder that goes through and our brick piers. So that new wall in the other room is going to sit right here. It's still going to be fully supported underneath. It's going to be bearing on the same thing that the wall that's going to be behind it is bearing on. So we are going to redistribute that load. The glamorous part about what I do is thinking about plumbing and sewage. Okay, so right above us is going to be the master shower. And so when I get ready to order my shower pan, I have to decide, do I want the drain in the middle or to the left or to the right? I've come down here and figured out that if I do it in the middle, it's going to run between these two joists, which is perfect. So we can run that sewage line right through that joist and all the way over here and tie in with the upstairs bathroom. Now, the challenge that we've discovered is the toilet is going to be between these two beams. And again, the sewage has got to run behind us. But somewhere along the way, somebody put a perpendicular piece there. It's not going to work. Can't notch it. It's not going to, we're going to lose all the support if we take it out. So the guys are upstairs. You can see them. They are trying to figure out how we can reinforce that bathroom floor without, well, how do we reinforce it? Because we have to take that piece out. So we think we figured out the answer. Of course, they had already worked on it this morning, and then we discovered this little piece and that sewage was going to be a problem. So always having to think about everything, think about every step of the way, what's going to come next, and what you're doing now, is that going to work with what is in the next phase? So hopefully we can figure that out. Luckily, we caught it before we got too far along. So that secondary wall is under construction. We've got a little bow in the ceiling up there. So we are going to try to jack it up just a little bit so that our ceiling will be a little bit flatter or more level where it meets that wall. All right, and just like that, we've got a wall here. So now all of these beams are bearing on something other than just that big beam over there. All the rest of them are the whole length of the house, but this back one was actually in 3 pieces, and the one that was up there was real rotten. So what we've done is we tore it out, and we're doing actually 3 thicknesses of, what is that, a 2 by 10? 2 by 10. A 2 by 10. But when they tore it out, we discovered something pretty cool. Okay, so this is that beam that we took out, and you can see clearly it was rotten in spaces. And we were trying to figure out why it was still standing there. And the reason it's still standing there is because they had narrowed it down and then notched it, and then the studs that were running here notched and stuck that in there. So here's the other end. You can see, I mean, that's a giant notch that was stuck in there. I'm gonna see if I can find a better example to show you that, because I'm not sure that that's clear. But that's why it was still standing, because there was still a lot that was bearing on the studs. Okay, so here is where we took that giant piece out. And can you see that it's actually going inside the thickness of that big stud right there? And so now we're discovering that they're all that way. This is terrible camera work. These people really built this house strong, which is why, even though it's got a little bit of rot in places, it is still standing 237 years later. Okay, the jack is out. there are 3 2x12s in there. 2 are sitting on the studs, and 1 is actually notched and running inside the studs. So we've supported that now, which is going to support that bathroom floor better. So now we can put our attention back on that upstairs bathroom. And now we are saying goodbye to all that 1930s sewer lines. There goes our old school P-trap. Incidentally, there's a hole in the bottom of that P-trap, which would explain why that board directly under it was good and rotten. So now that we're secure from underneath, we can take up that floor. There was some wood floors there, but they're just not able to be saved. So we're gonna put down plywood to give us a nice sturdy base, and then we will tile that bathroom floor. We are finishing up the week and we got so much done. All right, we now have a door going from the hallway into that bedroom number 2. You remember the door that was the door is now a closet. So you're gonna enter this way. And this was a wall that was here that was added later. It wasn't great. It didn't go to the ceiling, so the guys just took it down, reframed. It was easier. So now we've got a closet in bedroom number 2 and a bathroom. The guys reframed this floor. Now it is much, much, much sturdier. And the plan in here has changed. It actually changed a couple times while we were framing it out. Our goal was to put that old clawfoot tub that was in here back in here, and then that was going to leave the toilet awkwardly in front of the window, and then the world's tiniest sink right here. But remembered, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a clawfoot tub out there, and it's about 10 inches smaller. So we're going to do a switcheroo on the tubs. We're going to be able to put the tub here in front of the window, a nice size vanity here, and then the toilet's going to go there. So I think that's going to make the flow of this bathroom much, much better. We made this wall a 2x6 wall. Usually a wall is a 2x4. I don't know if you can see that. That's because we needed a pretty good size here because our plumbing from upstairs is going to run down into this wall. And then you saw our main suite was framed. And the last thing the guys are doing is putting in this dead wood, this blocking, so that we have better places to put our sheetrock. So, hey, we started the week getting a truckload of lumber, and we've already put a lot of it in this house. So, good week of work. So that's a wrap on another week of working at the Hyatt House. Thanks for watching. While you're here, subscribe, like, comment, tell me what you enjoyed, or ask me a question. I love when you guys give me questions. So have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.